think obviously a sad day around the organization in our locker room today here in passing in Boria. So our thoughts are with obviously him and his family, and it was amazing to see a couple weeks ago the reception he got, and just the moment it created and what he meant to this team, this organization, and to the city. To see the players talk about what he meant, how he played, how he paved the way in so many different areas. Very inspiring. So definitely an emotional day around here, and our thoughts are definitely with his family.
As you reflect on that moment not long ago, what were the emotions you were feeling at that time? I don't know if you see it in a different light now that this news is broken.
Well, obviously he been fighting a tough disease, and you can just see the emotion from his teammates, from him, from the city. It was hard not to be, heavy-eyed in those moments, and really take a step back and appreciate just, how he set the standard of what it is to be a Maple Leaf, and his contributions and the effort he put forward on a daily basis, and the competitive nature, and obviously the person and the player. Like I said, I think it adds to the sadness, just the reflection today, and seeing what that meant a couple weeks ago. So it was great to see that he got those moments. Special to see that, be a part of that, and to feel it.
There's a big Swedish contingent on this team. What did you say to guys like Nylander when you heard the news?
I don't think there's really a whole lot to be said. I think there's mostly just everyone taking a few moments to kind of just absorb the news and collect your thoughts a little bit. I think there's no doubt we have a strong Swedish contingent, and what they feel in the relationship they had with him. So I think everyone here just try to support one another and recognize the human being and how special he was, and obviously what he meant to the Toronto Maple Leafs.
We knew his health was deteriorating, but was it a shock that it happened so soon after you guys got to him?
Well, I think it's always a shock, especially when, it was just a couple weeks ago we had those amazing moments of seeing the honoring of him and what his legacy left behind with the Maple Leafs, and how instrumental he was to the organization and the impact that he made. So it always hits home when you hear the news, especially the moments that we experienced just a couple weeks ago.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, how you're processing the news about Boria today.
Yeah, very sad, obviously. It's a legend in Sweden, and just a guy that paved the way for a lot of guys from Europe. So, and as a Swede, it's close to heart, and sad news.
Does it put what you guys experienced a couple weeks ago in perspective? Like, how do you reflect on that moment now?
Yeah, I thought it was special when it happened, and obviously special looking back at it now. So, sad news. Legend in Sweden, so hits hard.
How do you proceed with going forward, and the defense changes that happened from last game, how you guys played, and how you kind of take that into tomorrow's game?
Yeah, I think we just got to bear down and continue as we have been going as of late. I think we're playing pretty solid defensively, so let's continue with that, and guys stepping up, try and win as many games as we can. Thanks.
Ras, before we get to Boria, just last night, Mitch mentioned there's a close call, you almost got hit, maybe with a beer. Like, what was that like for you last night?
Felt like home, felt like Europe. Soccer game in Europe or something. I was just surprised with what happened. So just trying to take cover and not to get hit. But it's close for a bunch of the players, not only me. So, but it was nice to get the win for sure.
Connor Timmins from back in junior. I know he's gone through some trials since he's gotten through his junior career. What do you remember about him back then?
I remember he took care of me very well when I got there. He was my D partner there for a while too. So he's obviously a really good hockey player and a good guy. So very happy to have him here. And as I said, I mean, another Sioux guy here. So we're happy about it.
Boria, how are you processing that news today?
Yeah, it's it's sad. I mean, he not only is a hockey player. I mean, obviously he is the hockey or was the hockey player he was. Led the way for a lot of Europeans to come over, but I think more of a person. I mean, with his whole family and stuff. I mean, it's obviously very sad. I mean, as a Swede too. I mean, it's a person I've looked up to, especially since I got to know the guy. And I mean, I didn't watch him play. I'm too young for that, but I obviously seen lots of stuff on YouTube and clips of him. So you know, getting to know him, it was unbelievable. So it was tough news for sure.
I don't know if you had a chance to talk to your dad about it, because the news kind of broke pretty close to practice, and I know your dad was a big fan of this. I don't know if you had a chance to talk to him about it.
Yeah, I texted him right before and just told him about it, and he said he heard about it this morning. So yeah, obviously it's. I mean, not only for us, but I mean, obviously I can only speak for myself and for our family, but we got to know him, and it was tough. And as I said, or as you said, my dad he had Boria as his idol, so it's obviously very sad news for the hockey world and I mean for people around as well.
Was it shocking to hear, or did you sense, obviously, when you knew he was in a battle, that happened this fast?
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't expecting it, but obviously I knew the battle he was going through. So it's obviously every time you get these kind of news, I mean, you're always surprised and you're shocked. So, but it's been going very quick for him. And, as I said, really tough news. But you know, think about this whole family right now.
Have you thought about your last interaction with him, the last time you saw him a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, I mean, it feels like yesterday. It feels like, I mean, it wasn't a long time ago at all. I mean, you know, it's crazy when you think about it. I mean, what is it? A week, 10 days ago or something, he was in Toronto, and you know, get the news today about that. It's crazy.
You set up the latest Swede to score for the Maple Leafs, or you helped set up that play. What did it mean to you to be part of Pontus's first goal? Kind of sinks in even more in light of the news today and what Boria meant.
Yeah, it was really fun for him. I was really happy when you know, I just saw him get the breakaway there, and I was just hoping for him to score. I don't think he scored down in the AHL this year neither, so I think it was the first of the season. So I was really excited and super happy for him. Thanks, guys. Thanks.
Great story.
You know, I didn't want to be rude.
Yeah, of course. William, what was your take on last night? What was that like when the fans were throwing stuff on the ice?
That's something that I don't think I've ever seen before. I mean, you've seen like a teddy bear toss, but that was like cans of beers coming down on the ice. That's crazy. I mean, luckily you guys were aware and were able to hit some out of the way. I don't know if anybody got hit with one, but yeah, that's crazy. But I mean, you can kind of understand 3 goals called back, so it's a tough spot.
Rasmus was saying kind of flashback to Europe. Is there anything like that in Europe?
Not when I've been there,
Okay.
that I can remember.
Obviously, the news about Boria today. Just how are you processing that?
Yeah, you know, just found out before practice, and it's very sad. I mean, saw him a few weeks ago, and it's crazy how fast it went. So it's just been hard to process. Like I said, just kind of found out, and it's very upsetting.
Did it catch you by surprise at all, just given how quick the timeline was from when you guys did see him here? And
Yeah, to be honest, like I did not think that our meeting was going to be about that. So it really caught me off guard that it happened so fast. But I mean, it's a terrible disease, and at least now he's not hurting that way anymore.
You guys had a meeting before practice to talk about it?
Yeah, Kyle just came in and told everybody about what happened.
What was it like in the room? How would you describe that moment?
You know, everybody saw what he meant to the organization, and I mean, teammates and everybody around him. So I mean, it's a guy that you look up to and that you want to model yourself by. So yeah, I mean, obviously it was very sad and quiet in the locker room.
Can you share what your last interaction was with him?
I was at the game. Yeah, that was the last interaction.
The ceremonial face-off.
Yeah.
It's funny, or it's not funny, but last night the latest Swede to score for the Leafs happens. Pontus and Sandin's on the ice there. What was it like for you to see that moment?
Yeah, obviously, super happy for Fox to get that first goal, and yeah, I mean it was kind of like the night he was at the game where we started all the Swedes, so it's very special for him to score that last goal there before he passed. So thanks, guys.
Erik, how did you process the last game? Like, how did you deal with a tough loss there?
Yeah, it's like you said, it was a tough loss. Well, a bit of it was a misplay by me, but yeah, it's some things you make mistakes out there. It happens, and yeah, you just got to learn from it and move on and be better in the next game. It's obviously something you don't want for the team, but yeah, everyone is going to make a mistake out there somewhere. So it's all about how to handle it after and move on.
Seemed like just a bad bounce, but is there something to be learned from that? Is it a matter of because there wasn't that much activity, it's tougher to keep focus, or do you take anything from that specific play?
No, it's more like to me it came off the boards a little bit bouncy, and but obviously I had more time than I thought. So it's obviously something I can handle a lot better. So it's yeah, learn from it and move on.
What was the moment like before practice day, the meeting, finding out about Borja?
Yeah, it was obviously a really sad news. It's very tough. I'm just glad that the organization had time to bring him over and really show how much the fans and the organization appreciates him and how much he's meant to the Toronto Maple Leafs and hockey in general. So it's really sad day, and yeah, just feel for his family and everyone really close to him.
Thanks, Erik. I appreciate your time. Action to the trade.
Yeah, obviously I think it's a good opportunity for me. Arizona was great to me for the time that I was there, but I'm happy to get a new start and really excited to be here.
Were you surprised? Did you have any idea that this might be coming?
I had somewhat of an idea just with how things were going with me needing to be put on waivers at the end of my stint potentially. I didn't know what teams were interested, but like I said, just really happy to be picked by the Leafs.
What was this first practice like? I mean, you get thrown right in?
Yeah, it was a whirlwind 24 hours. Obviously, it's an exciting start. I was just trying to get my touches in out there and get used to the pace and get to know the guys, so it was good.
They got a busy schedule coming up here. How long do you think it might take to get up to speed, be ready to jump in?
Yeah, I mean, I've been playing games down in the AHL. I feel pretty confident in where my game is at. Obviously, I have to adjust to new systems and a lot of new faces, but whenever they put me in, I'm ready.
How much does it help having someone like Rasmus around? Like just that familiarity with your time in the Sioux and just being able to kind of lean on that maybe a little?
Yeah, for sure, along with Mac Hollowell as well. Two of my probably closest friends when I was down in the Sioux. I played with Rasmus for a whole season, so I know him really well. He's a great person and a great player, so it's really nice to have him here.
What worked well for you two when you played together?
I think we just play similar styles. Puck-moving defenseman. He's a really intelligent player, and like I said, a great person, so we get along well off the ice as well.
It's not just Mac and Rasmus. There's a lot of Sioux feel here. Does that add to the kind of comfort level too?
Yeah, for sure. I think just in the fact that I know the system pretty well already to begin with. Obviously, there's some adjustments at the NHL level, but like you said, a lot of familiarity here.
You've been, this team's gone through a lot of injuries on D. Have you ever been at any other level, like on a team where there's so many guys at that position go down all at once?
No, I can't say I have been. Obviously, you never want to see anybody go down. But like I said, a lot of opportunity, and it's just next man up mentality.
What have you heard about the Leafs development staff and how they can help you in that regard? Because Kyle Dubas made it clear he sees you as a big-time future kind of investment.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of great things. Obviously, there's a ton of major resources here, things you might not get in other organizations. So, like I said, I'm just really excited for that aspect as well. And it's not too far from where I live in the summer, so I can stay in touch and be back and forth whenever I need to. So it's a great opportunity for me.
I remember watching you at the World Juniors and how amazing you were there. I mean, just how has the last few years, the adversity you faced, changed you as a person, affected you?
Yeah, I think I just have grown mentally stronger. Obviously, everyone's going to go through adversity at some point in their life, and mine seem to have piled up over the last couple of years, but I feel great now. I have a new lease on life and a positive mentality, so I'm ready to go.
Awesome. Thanks, Connor.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Something tell us about before practice and how the team processed the news about Borja.
Yeah, obviously I was aware in advance of the meeting and the players, but a tough moment. Like our team really, I think, was really touched, by Borja and his family being in Toronto and honoring him the way that the organization did, and kind of sharing in that moment there, and to have the news here today is incredibly sad, and obviously, we feel deeply sad for his family and his fans and everyone that he's touched. Such an incredible competitor, and even for myself, having learned even more about him as a player and the impact he's made on the organization and our community in Toronto. We're just our thoughts are with everybody there, and it's a difficult time to not be at home and in Toronto and with our fans and all of that. But our players really felt that a couple of weeks ago when we honored him, and it hits us that much harder here today.
Nobody's probably ever ready to hear news about death, but did catch you by surprise just how soon everything happened?
Yeah, I did, for sure. I mean, it speaks to how devastating the illness is, and that's why there's so much awareness and money trying to be raised to come up with solutions to it. So yeah, it's devastating for sure. Obviously, we're grateful to have that opportunity to share that moment with him that we had in Toronto. But incredibly sad day for us. I think there's opportunities for us to take the experience that we've had and continue to be one that sort of that experience, I think, can very positively impact the group in terms of, like we talked about, with the legacy and how you're remembered and things like that. And the fact that we're impacted here today tells you a lot about the type of person and player that he was.
Yeah, it looked like you shared a moment on the ice with William Nylander, threw your arm around him for a brief second there. His family is very close to the Salming family, and what did you say to someone like him?
We were discussing another matter, but it's very clear to me with the Swedish players in particular, and you could see it even in the room when the news came down from Kyle, that it impacts them even more so. I think the bond that they had with Borja was a little more personal, both in the connections that they had, but also the impact that he had with Swedish hockey players in particular coming into Toronto, but in the NHL as a whole and in North America. So, yeah, I think those guys have a different perspective on it than the rest of us, but I think they were very appreciative of how the organization handled the ceremony and honoring him the way that we did, but it doesn't make it any easier today.
Any update on Jordy's status moving forward here?
Yeah, he's going to go on the IR, but we won't know the full extent until we get some pictures and things like that. So he's got an upper body injury that's going to keep him out. I'd call it week to week at this point. We don't know quite how long. I would say week to week, simply just because it's going to be more than 7 days, and beyond that, we're not quite sure yet.
What did you make of Connor Timmins' first practice with you guys?
I don't know that we could take a lot from today's practice. Essentially amounts to a morning skate for us, really more in preparing for tomorrow's 1 o'clock game. And first day with him, I be honest, I wasn't really watching all that closely. And then in talking with him, he wasn't on the ice for 3 days before coming in here. So I think our approach with him is to get him in and get him comfortable. Obviously, we have a great need, and there's great opportunity on our defense right now with the injuries that we're going through. Yet we want to make sure we put him in a good spot to succeed. So both in coming into a new team and the fact that he hasn't skated, we give him here today and get another skate tomorrow. He won't play tomorrow, but we'll take it a day at a time from there. But like I said to him, and like it's very clear that we do have great opportunity here. So. Both in the injuries we had prior to last night, there was a need to add another defenseman to the depth of our group, and even more so now with Ben going out.
What can Kelly give you up on the top six there?
Well, I think one thing that he's shown, first of all, he's defensively responsible, but he's also shown that he can score. If you get him the puck in good spots, he's going to put it in. He showed that in preseason. He's shown that in the regular season here. I think his game, I think, is starting to trend in the right direction. His overall game, yet within the period that we've played here, I think he's still found ways to contribute to our team. He scored big goals. He's contributed 5-on-5 for us, and he's a good penalty killer and good defensive habits, and he gives you absolutely everything he has on every shift. So to that end, we wanted to give him that opportunity, and also just like how it sort of shapes up the rest of the lines too.
Why was now a good time to get Wayne in? Is that a direct result of the opponent you're facing tomorrow?
Yeah, it's a big part of it. It's a big and physical team, and at the same time, we've lost a lot of size and experience out of our lineup on defense in particular, but. Our options there are limited at this point with having 5 guys out, but getting him on forward, I think it's overdue. He's been sitting for a long time, and I just think it makes a lot of sense, all things considered.
Looked like Matt Murray got hit with a shot up on the shoulder arm area before the rest of the team hit the ice. Seemed to be okay, but anything there?
Nothing there. No, that was part of the plan, just to get him a quick sweat and see some pucks and get out and get ready for tomorrow.
Not to get too back on what happened last night with the stuff being thrown, but you mentioned before you'd been through that a couple of times. Was that in Pembroke or was that somewhere else where that happened?
I don't remember specifically. It happens from time to time. Maybe not to that degree, but yeah, I think it was all part of the experience last night. There was lots to go through in that game, but again, to see our team come out on the right side of a game like that and find a way to secure the win and protect our lead is big for our team. And the challenge doesn't get any easier coming in here to Minnesota, a different type of team and different type of style of play and all of that. But we still want to continue to get positive momentum here on the road.
Do you split the goalies for the back-to-back coming up here?
Yeah, we'll take it a day at a time, but that would be the plan going in. But we'll take it a day at a time and go from there. Obviously, it's a 1:00 start, so it's a little bit different. But the travel's significant here. I don't know how we ended up in Minnesota in the middle of all this, but here we are.
Thanks.